Honestly, I debated not making a review for this movie, but the completionist within me kind of wanted to, just in the sense that I've been trying to watch and review all the different pieces of the Ghost in the Shell anime that exist out there, so I figured I would. Also, don't let the title fool you. The movie is literally called The New Movie. Like, that is the title of the actual film, so this is not a new movie in 2025 that you're missing. This movie is from 2015, but the literal, actual, legitimate title of the movie is Ghost in the Shell, the New Movie. And I feel like you shoot yourself in the foot with that title, because when you make another movie after this, this movie will no longer be new. Therefore, it won't be the new movie. So is the next movie going to be called the New Movie? I don't know. But Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, is part of the Ghost in the Shell Arise series, which was a series of OVAs, then turned into a series, taking the same material and then chopping it up into episodes. And this is a movie that could have also just been one of the OVAs. And that's kind of how I ultimately feel about it. After watching this, it didn't really feel like it needed to be a movie. I get that, okay, maybe they just came up with the OVAs first, and they wanted to add some kind of finality to it, some kind of conclusion. And the final scene, the final shot of this movie is definitely 100% a reference to the beginning of the first Ghost in the Shell movie. So in a way, it kind of comes full circle. But also, Arise is its own series and not connected in continuity to the other Ghost in the Shell. So it's sort of just a wink at the camera, or like an Easter egg to the audience to kind of wrap it all together, even though it's not the same. I'm confusing myself right now. Let me just dial it back. So yeah, the reason that I was kind of debating not even making a review for this movie is, number one, I just don't really have a whole lot to say about it. Like, it has some pretty interesting action sequences. It has an okay storyline, but it really felt like it could have just been part of the other OVAs. It didn't really feel like it needed to be a movie. And so it's kind of just in the middle for me. It's kind of bland. It's kind of just okay. With that, I also feel like I'm kind of getting burned out on Ghost in the Shell. And I guess it's okay since I'm pretty much at the end. There is the other CGI animated version, and then there's the live action movie, which I have seen before. But other than that, I'm caught up. And I'm kind of getting to that point now where it's like, obviously, the original movie is a masterpiece. I love Standalone Complex, but with Arise, a lot of it just left me wondering what the point of it really was. I get that they wanted to do sort of like a Section 9 origin prequel idea of the Major kind of joining the group and creating what we would know as Section 9. But again, if you're not specifically connecting it to any other version, it just is sort of like a prequel that goes nowhere. And it also takes away a lot of the things that I really enjoyed about previous incarnations of Ghost in the Shell, and that was that sense of camaraderie between all of the characters in Section 9, particularly the Major and Bato, where it seemed like they've seen so much together. They've been through many missions together. They've been through wars together, essentially. Like, they have this sort of unspoken back and forth where they really understand each other despite being extremely different, and then kind of bringing it in with, Motoko kind of joining this group for the first time, or assembling this group for the first time, in not having that shorthand between her and Bato, and not having that sense like they've really been through thick and thin together. It just took like what I found to be the most interesting and best part of their dynamic and threw it away. And here, it's getting a little bit better. Now they're sort of a team. I don't think it's not like technically Section 9 just yet, not as we would understand it, but they are all working together here. We have like the Major and Bato and Togusa, and like we got in Saito, the sniper, and we have all of them assembled and doing the things that they do, basically the same stuff, the same tasks they would have been doing in the Standalone Complex show. Now everyone kind of has their role. So, we're moving into it to where it's more established and we're getting there. But again, we don't have that long-standing history, so it does take a little something away. I also feel like a lot of the tropes and ideas in Ghost in the Shell are just being recycled here. Like, you have all this stuff that was very thought-provoking and a little bit horrific to think about the advancements of technology and AI and what that could mean for humanity. What is a consciousness? How valid is it, as opposed to where it comes from? All these questions that are asked in the very first Ghost in the Shell movie. And it seems like we're just sort of repeating the steps here, because we have this, idea of changing consciousness into different vessels, into different shells. And then we also have the idea of implanting memories once again, which like I said, like it's not necessarily just about the idea of it, the concept of it, but it's how it's executed. I was talking about this when I just reviewed the Arise OVAs, is that in that original Ghost in the Shell movie, the execution of explaining the implanted memories inside of the head of the garbage man is one of the most haunting scenes that I've ever seen in sci-fi fiction. And now it's become so commonplace within watching Ghost in the Shell that when it's done in this movie, I just didn't really feel anything for it. Like I was like, oh, they're implanting memories. Yeah, that's kind of just a par for the course. It's just something that happens. And it left me feeling a little bummed out because it's something that at one point in time affected me so deeply, just that thought that someone could just hack into your mind and make you think you've done things or met people or seen things that you've never actually done. And then it's also like, you know, what about your decision-making process is valid after that? If you're making decisions based upon memories that you didn't actually have, but you truly believe you have, like, how at fault are you for that, you know? But now it's happened so many times, and it's sort of like recycle, rinse, repeat in the Ghost in the Shell series that I just didn't really care about it happening in this Arise movie. Now, one interesting thing that they do here is that the antagonist of this movie has the same body as the Major, as Motoko. So you have a little bit of a kind of a double side of the coin here. There's like this terrorist attack that happens, of course, you know, the prime minister is killed and, you know, they're investigating it and everything. And it turns out the person behind it, you know, has the same body as Motoko, different consciousness, but same body. And so I wanted them to do a little bit more with that, or maybe use that in a way where she could have infiltrated a little bit more, but it just doesn't really seem to have much of a satisfying conclusion. And even when it delves into, you know, the Major's backstory here, a lot of that was kind of talked about already in Arise, and that in this version, you know, it's fully clarified that she's never had a living human body, like ever, like being born, like she wasn't even born, you know, she was saved, and, you know, her mind or consciousness is put into a body and she was able to grow up. And that's another reason why she appears like much younger in the Arise series, is she has a younger body in that kind of stage of growing up. But she never had her actual living human body. She never actually had, which I always thought was a really cool idea. And I like that for the character. But here it just seems to be kind of delved into and over-explained again when we already explained it in the Arise series, so it wasn't like a big revelation or anything. It's like there's all the pieces of the Ghost in the Shell stuff that I like, but in this particular movie, in this particular version, it just feels played out. It's like this thing that was so impactful and inspiring and new and unique. Now, you know, 2015 would have been, 20 years since the original movie. Now I think we've just done it too much, and it's time to stop. So yeah, like I said, I can't really think of anything too interesting to say about this movie. It's just kind of like a standard plot, standard, you know, government conspiracy sort of thing. It's just a standard Ghost in the Shell fare. On the positive angle, I do think the animation looks pretty damn good, and I do think there are some genuinely great action sequences that are structured and choreographed in this movie. I think this is still when anime and Ghost in the Shell actually looked really, really good. Like, I cannot knock it for the animation or the choreography. I think they did a really good job with that here, but unfortunately that's not enough to save the entire film for me. Overall, I thought it was just okay. It could have just been an OVA, didn't really need to be a movie, doesn't really give you anything new. It's pretty much just the standard typical Ghost in the Shell stuff. It doesn't really advance or change the characters in any kind of meaningful way, and since we are dealing with like the origins of Section 9 and the earlier incarnations, the characters don't have that same kind of camaraderie and banter and history with each other that I always really personally enjoyed about the team. So overall, Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, it's okay. Anyways, guys, what do you think about it? Let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on Ghost in the Shell, the new movie. Again, I'm not trying to trick you guys with the title or anything. The movie is actually literally called The New Movie. So sorry if anybody clicked on the video expecting something actually new. But yeah, anyways, nothing too special here. Just kind of standard Ghost in the Shell. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up and a comment. I appreciate you. And we'll talk to you next time.